Martin here. So just going to take a moment to run you through the Codeable platform. Um, so you can always ask questions if anything is unclear. So I'll share with you access so you can log in. You should be able to land on app.codeable.io. There are definitely a couple of things in here. There's a workroom. Workroom is really where we have projects that we've been hired or are ongoing. That's really the workroom. Everything we have pretty much in progress where we are engaging the different customers. But otherwise, for this particular aspect, I'm going to focus on the new projects. So this is primarily where the sourcing happens. So the platform, keeps adding, the new projects as they come in onto this list. Um, Definitely, when you run through it backwards, you notice projects where maybe some developer asked a question, the client is yet to respond, and things like that. But generally, this is the place. So you can see there's a project that came in actually a couple of few minutes ago, about an hour. Uh, this zero means no one has engaged yet, and the comments are also few. So there are some underlying values and principles that the platform follows. And their standard is if you see any conversation or engagement which already has more than three, three experts, they call them experts or teams that have already engaged, you don't get into that workroom. You just let it go. An example would be if I open this, like now, this means five people have commented, five. This one, there are just two. So let me just open this in a new window. So when you open the project, you now get into the specifics. Usually the clients are in such a way that their requirements are fairly straightforward. From the West, they are a little specific. Now, like this one, you can see this is expert number one. You can also click on the experts and get to understand a bit of their strength. It's definitely a competition, but the platform encourages collaboration. So sometimes you find conversations where the expert mentioned a certain approach. If you think we can offer a different approach, then those are conversations which are worthwhile getting into. But if you look at a conversation and the expert already has an approach that is fairly straightforward or is the best, then you don't bother to get into such workrooms. So yeah, this would be expert one, expert two, three. Um, of course, here they are talking to each other. This would be expert four and expert five, right? Of course, while the platform recommends certain principles, not every expert abides by them. Um, they still leave that leeway. So what the platform usually does, they have a support team. They usually reach out to these different people, and many times they actually warn and say, "Hey, you got into this workroom. There were already sufficient experts, and you've not read our principles properly," and they warn you. Usually, when they warn you three times within a period of 3 months, they put you on a probation, meaning you can no longer engage, you can no longer source. So that's how risky it is. So don't be swayed by, other experts are engaging. We are some of the oldest experts. Peter is one of the oldest experts. For many of these new experts, they are fairly people who joined recently. Of course, now like this one, you can see they're old, uh, but usually they have like the project manager, closing off here. The way, of course, now like on our part, I've done that role before, and Kathy is currently the one doing it. All right, enough with that. So going back here, I've opened this new project in a new tab here. you can see that this is a loyal client. I'll share with you also some do's and don'ts. But generally, loyal clients means it's someone who has been on the platform before. When you run into loyal clients, be keen to click on their names and see. Usually, other people leave reviews. So now, like this one, a bit of scope creep, but overall a good client. You can see that the person so far has posted 6 projects, none has been refunded, and so far they've spent 2K. So this kind of gives you a gauge of low-hanging fruit. The fact that they've dealt with the platform before, uh, they are beyond certain nuances of, okay, why are 2 to 3 people talking to me at a go? So they are now people who have used the platform, they are confident, and so they are usually a good one. Now, like this one, you can even gauge by how they've outlaid their requirements. API integration, data collection. This definitely looks a good project. If you're able to engage as soon as possible. But yeah, then they also add flexible in terms of urgency. They're a bit flexible. Do they have a budget? No. URL? No. So some of the things when you get in, like I've mentioned, loyal client, usually good signal. Tap and see some reviews. For some clients, you'll see bad reviews, or some clients where you see the project was refunded. Those are a bit of red flags. So with that context in mind, you're able to look at what the client is asking for. Even when you engage them, you're a bit cautious to make sure, okay, if I've seen that this client has scope creep before, let me be careful around that. Let me make sure the scope is clear and stuff like that. The other thing you also, like now this one, it's they haven't added a URL, but usually if you engage and you realize I need to look at maybe a link to their website or whatever they're talking about, those are some of the things you can ask for. Could you share URL to this so I can take a further look, and things like that. But generally, yeah, that is it. Definitely, as you source, we can then work through the next steps of this is ready for estimation. You can still estimate from the sheet, and then we can always conclude it here. So the other aspect is while you're engaging, so we are right now, myself and Kathy are listed as the project managers. It means we went through especially the Codeable training and things like that. So since you're getting onto this the first time, you'll be engaging as me. What I'm simply saying is that when you reach the point of closing off, you close off as Martin. An example, I can use the Joseph. I've just responded to Joseph. So you close off as Martin Kanzu code. Usually adding both the name and company name helps because sometimes the client sees up here. Up here, of course, the name is Peter because he's our team lead. And you can definitely see a bit of the details, how we've been faring. You definitely added as one of the team members, but not as a PM. So yeah, you just close off as Martin Kanzu code. That should suffice. Then also the platform has a bit of stringent rules in how quickly you get back to customers. Delays in responding also can lead to warnings. So what we do internally, we have internal reporting. I've switched to a document which I believe you've been using, but mostly at the estimation level. So there's a first sheet which is called PE. It's really primary engagement. That's what it means. So yeah, once you engage, you just come. Let me use an example of this project. You get the ID, punch it in here, be keen to add the date. Of course, we can see here, Kathy, some dates are not in, but be keen to add the date. Like now, today, this title would really be just, oh, sorry, I added the wrong. So ID would be this, title would be this. Just so, because if I come here or anyone else needs to check, we can easily see the title. But usually the ID works. title is good because sometimes you have it gives an indication of what you're getting into. Then customization overall. Is this likely to be a plugin? Customization, is it likely to be plugin development? Anything that can guide you later, even you, the next time you're jumping in, can suffice here. Then status can be awaiting customer feedback, or needs a response, or the different statuses really, or it's ready for estimation, something like that. That should work. Then in here, this is a drop down select. I'm just going to add your name to the drop down by the time you get to it, so that I'm able to know the ones you engaged on. And that is it really. So you can engage one or two, three projects, then just update the sheet. I could always come in and try and follow up if we have any responses or feedback, and we can collaborate at that level. All right, looking forward to any questions that might come up. Thanks a lot.